Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative Podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, pop culture, everything really depending on the guests we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. You, of course, recognize my guests from To All the Boys films on Netflix. To All the Boys, Always and Forever will be available February 12th. She plays Kitty. We were with Anna Cathcart. Anna, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you so much.
I mean, has it hit you, one, that you've done, there's been 3 To All the Boys movies, and a third one it's right around the corner, like it's coming out soon. What's that been like, the calm before the storm for you?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty crazy, and everything now is ramping up, and we're all getting ready, and we're so excited for everyone to see this last movie, but it's also so sad that it's coming to an end because we've been a part of this journey for so many years now. So it's pretty crazy to wrap my head around.
I've seen interviews where you've kind of talked about the audition process, how you kind of got involved with these films. But let's be honest, Kitty, she has a lot of swag. She has the sass. I just wanted to know, in terms of, when you were preparing for a role like this, what were kind of things that you were kind of like trying out? You know what I mean? Like, did you want to be kind of the annoying but supportive little sister? Like, what was kind of the aim when you were prepping for these roles?
Yeah, no, for sure. Kitty's always been such a fun character. I love all of her little witty lines and everything like that. I'm a little sister in real life, and I have an older sister who's my absolute best friend. So that wasn't hard to think about, like, oh, like what's a strong sister relationship, and what would she be like as the youngest one? So luckily I have that to pull from. But yeah, I don't know. Kitty's little like comedic beats are my favorite, and I love getting to play a character like that. So she's honestly the best. She's my favorite.
Characters are always going to grow. There's 3 films. Talk a little bit about the growth of Kitty in all these films and what we're going to see in Always and Forever.
Yeah, I think you get to see Kitty grow up a little bit, which is cool. I mean, she still keeps that spunk and that feistiness that she's had since the first one, which I love because it kind of makes Kitty who she is. But in this last one, something that I think fans will really enjoy seeing is she gets her first crush, and she's really excited about that. And she's obviously seen Lara Jean and Peter be together for quite a while now, so she kind of has her own Peter in a way, and she goes to him to ask for relationship advice, which is a really cute dynamic that they have. And yeah, that's just something new for her and something new for fans to see.
So it's been, the similar cast and crew, a lot of similar faces for 3 films. When you kind of found out in the script that for this film, Kitty was going to have a crush, what was kind of going through your mind?
Yeah, no, I totally remember reading that and being like, oh my gosh, like this is something new, and this is big for her and for her character. But yeah, it was so fun. I mean, we got to film that scene where she meets him. It was actually in Korea, so that was really cool too, to get to be there and get to meet someone new and a new character in the film, and then he gets talked about a lot later when they're back at home. So that was exciting. I totally remember meeting him for the first time in Korea, and we were where he's from and where I was. It was so new for me, so it was so much fun. That was such a good day.
And I'm sure you're asked this a lot, but talk a little bit about kind of the relationship with a lot of the cast and the crew with Noah and Lana. I mean, you guys have been through a lot together. You've been through this journey of all these films. What's that kind of been like?
Yeah, exactly. We've been through this for so long, all holding hands, being together on this crazy ride. So it sounds so cliche, but it's honestly true that we've really become a family, and especially with the sisters as well. It's a special bond on screen, but it's also a special bond off screen. So it's amazing. And I'm very grateful that even though this is coming to an end and the movies might be over, we'll always have a family with this, and we'll always be connected forever. So no, it was the best. And they kind of all became like my older brothers and older sisters because yeah, I was so lucky.
Absolutely. And, what's it like being part of the Netflix family for not only 1 film, but for 3? I mean, like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Right at the start when I was auditioning, I would have never thought that this would have become what it has become. And getting to do 2 movies was so exciting. And then hearing that we'll get to do 3 was like mind blowing. So getting to be part of this family, Netflix is amazing. And I mean, obviously everyone is a huge fan of Netflix. So it's so cool to get to be a part of their inside family. And yeah, I think it's the perfect place for To All the Boys.
I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, it's Calm Before the Storm. The third film is going to be available very soon on Netflix. Social media, is buzzing, loves the films, really keeps up to date, loves the Instagram content and everything. Talk a little bit about, it's interesting because you guys shoot this movie, you're promoting this movie, and then, there's the press and the Instagram lives and the posts. Like, there's a lot going on, to get this film out and make sure everyone watches it. Talk about that process. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a little bit different this year because we can't
of course.
be in person, which is just so unfortunate because last year we were getting ready for the second, we got to actually meet fans face to face, and that is like no other experience as well. We got to surprise people in theaters and hear their reactions watching the film for the first time, and getting to hear their screams and their laughs and their cries. And that was the best. And obviously this year's a little different, but we're still finding ways to interact with them and finding ways to still hype up this movie that we're all so excited for people to see. So that's definitely been a new experience, but it's still been really good. It's still been fun.
For you specifically as a storyteller and an actor, what drew you towards acting? Was there a film or something, an inspiration that kind of drew you towards being like, this is kind of what I want to do? Like Anna Cathcart is going to be a storyteller?
Yeah, honestly, I watched so much TV when I was little. Like when I was a kid, it was always like my mom always telling me to get off the TV, and now I can be like, that was my research. That's why I do what I do. So really, no, but seriously, I think I watched so much Disney Channel and I watched so many kids shows growing up, and it seemed like such a distant dream to me, like being like, wow, imagine being able to do that. And I never really thought like, oh, what if I actually could? Like I was like, well, like, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I just would love to. And then I did a few commercials when I was really little, and that was obviously so different from film and TV. But even that was like, I remember saying to my mom, like, this is like the best day of my life. Like just being on set and getting to like see the magic happen and being on camera was just so exciting to me. And I was like, if I could do this like for a long time and do this seriously would be such a dream. And still now, like when I take a step back, it really does blow my mind that I get to do this and I get to do what I love. It's so crazy.
Absolutely. You've worked in TV, you worked in film. Some people have different kind of answers for this. Do you kind of tackle both mediums like they're the same, basically? Like you're preparing for a film, you're preparing for a TV show. It's a lot different, right? You're doing To All the Boys, Kitty's in it. It's an hour and a half, kind of long. But like TV shows, like God Squad, it's like different episodes and everything. What's that process like? Do you separate the two?
Yeah, they definitely are pretty different. Odd Squad was the first thing that I'd ever done. It was actually my first audition too. So my first audition for film and TV, I ended up booking it and was off to Toronto and filming for 2 years. So I think since that was my main experience with TV, because it was the first set I had ever been on, I definitely look at things now in a different mindset in different ways, just because I've learned so much throughout the years. But yeah, TV is just so fast paced, like so fast. We shoot like 9 pages of script in one day versus on set times we'll film like 1 page in a whole day. So
wow.
That is definitely very different. And I mean, it's different per project. Like not every TV show is like the ones I've been on, not every movie is too. So it's kind of interesting because the first few weeks when you're on a new set, you're like, okay, so this is how this one works. And this is what people are expecting. And then you kind of get into the groove. So by the third movie, it was so exciting because we were like in the groove of things and knew how it worked.
We'll get back to All the Boys in a second, but I do have to mention you are Canadian. You are from Canada.
I am.
And I just wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be, one can make an argument, a trailblazing storyteller in Canada? You know what I mean? What does that feel like to be like a Canadian storyteller that's doing such amazing things and being in films like on Netflix, Anna?
It is pretty crazy. I'm a very proud Canadian, and it is cool that it separates me from other people in the best way. I love it, getting to create all these big amazing things and saying like, oh yeah, I'm just a girl from Vancouver, and getting to meet other Canadian actors and like going to the Canadian Screen Awards and all these different things that I get to have these special experiences because of where I'm from, and I still live in Vancouver too, so that's kind of cool because a lot of actors they move to LA, which totally makes sense and one day might have to happen. But right now I'm still at home and I still get to be a part of that and connected to that. So it's great.
I mentioned, the trailblazing too, because people kind of look and say, wow, she's from Vancouver. Like, I didn't know that. Right. I want to do that one day. Do sometimes people don't realize that you're Canadian? Does that ever happen?
Oh, for sure. All the time. But people also, okay, I don't think that I have like a Canadian accent, but people think that I do. And I've been told by the director of this movie, by Michael, he was like, oh, like, I remember saying a line in the second movie, I think, and I said the word about, and he was like, oh, can you say that like more American? And I was like, I don't understand what that means. Like, I really, like, little things like that. It is so funny. And it always like becomes a joke that people tease me about, that I am so Canadian. I'm so like, oh, have you had poutine? Have you done this? Like, I need to show you all those things. So yeah, it's always fun.
For me, it's 50-50, but a lot of people are like, your accent, you say about differently. Like people kind of clue in before we go in.
Yeah, for sure.
Two other quick things about To All the Boys. One, I mean, music is a huge part. The soundtracks are amazing. As someone kind of in the films, do you also kind of listen and get ready for the release of the soundtrack? Spotify, that's all like a big thing, big part of binging shows now, the music.
Yes, of course. I love listening to music. It's like a huge passion of mine. So yeah, hearing the soundtracks always get me so excited, and songs that I'll hear now that if they were in the movie, I'll always just like, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, whoa, think of To All the Boys. And I think of that whole mood and that world that it's created. And yeah, no, for sure. I have the soundtracks on my phones, and yeah, it's the best. The music it adds so much to the story.
And there's all those apps that kind of can let you figure out what the songs are. I'm watching Always and Forever, and I'm like, that's a good song. Like, I need to know what song that is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It happens all the time. 3 films, Kitty kind of grows and develops. What are you hoping when people watch these films they get out of it, besides enjoying it and wanting to watch it, on repeat? What else do you hope they get out of these films, Anna?
Something that I think is really special about To All the Boys is all these characters, they never really had to change themselves. They didn't go through that classic makeover that you see in a lot of teen movies. They're the same amazing, beautiful people they were in the first movie that they are in the third. And of course they grow up and they change in different ways, but they're still themselves, and they don't lose sight of that, which I think is a really important lesson, especially for people who are young and who are watching these. And especially in the third one, Lara Jean's trying to figure out her life path and where she's going to go. And that's so relatable, I think, to everyone. We all get to a point, and right now I am at that point because I am in grade 12 and I'm thinking about my after graduation life and how relationships are going to change and how friendships are going to differ. So I think it's really cool because there's something that everyone, no matter what stage at their life, they can relate to something that these characters are going through.
Absolutely. Well, Anna, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And, February 12th, it's the third movie. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything too?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram would be the best place. It's just under my name, Anna Cathcart.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you can catch Anna Cathcart as Kitty and To All the Boys, Always and Forever, February 12th on Netflix. Until next time, it's Anna Cathcart and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.